I'm Malcolm Van Delston. This is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman describing her suicide attempt as ordinary, like brushing my teeth. In an attempt to answer the question, why did I do it? She tells her life story. We might be at the end of the book. I've got an ending here, the beginning of the ending. I'll read the rest next week. And I want to know if this works. If it doesn't, I'll continue on with my original plan, which was to write Ava's life right to the wraparound, right to her suicide attempt that opens the series. This is book 4. Working title is Eyes of Different Colors. Last week, Ava fell in love, and it was not pleasant. This week, a new chapter called Olio. Reader, dear reader, at this point, things get murky as well as shameful. Funny that. The alcohol blurs memory, but what if shame does too? What if we fall into a place where we, want to die, but since we cannot bring ourselves to do it, we numb ourselves with alcohol and other drugs? Ugh. My crotch contracts, my heart hurts, and the channel between the two hollows out, as if my body is saying, don't write this, don't talk about this. And what if my physical being is right? Why did I swear to put this all down? A vestige of Catholic confession? What if I don't talk about the darkest stuff? What if it is mostly how I lived it, skating across the surface, drunk and laughing, then not drunk, not drunk, not drunk, do not drink. Occupy your mind. Do not think about dying. Do not, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. I wish the story was uncomplicated, abandoned and lost, followed by pulling myself together and making positive changes, everything in order. Instead, I've got a soup where failure and success, stagnation and growth exist side by side, commingled. No hero's journey for me. I'm living, walking, breathing chaos theory. My non-linear system of equations effects are not proportional to their causes, which is a good thing in practice, though not in theory. No one rhapsodizes heroes, olios, heroes, vagabondages. It's possible that after admitting I fell in love, or whatever it was, with Greg, I'm done. There. I told you the worst thing I could do, even though there were many equally bad, possibly slightly worse boyfriends, one-night stands, etc. afterwards. Damn it. I had such good thoughts when I was biking to yoga, but they vaporized. I was thinking how I could... There it is. I was thinking that I could tell you how doing the Proust thing was, that I hadn't examined it and didn't realize how long it would take, how hard it would be, how many literal words I'd have to type. I didn't realize I'd get bored after the initial I'll show them or whatever it is that drove me to write, draw, code, dance naked for an audience singing comedic songs, that I'd get a bit of acknowledgement and then I'd lose steam. That my standards are really low and they don't need a whole lot of affirmation, apparently. While writing this, I realized I'm ADHD, not that I believe it exists. I mean, there are always outliers in the realm of excitable natures, a subset of human natures. And these extremists might qualify as psychologically disturbed, but for the most part, ADHD-labeled people are merely high-strung, energetic, and filled with wonder. I saw this video online with the caption, "Can you guess which goat is ADHD?" 3 baby goats stood placidly with their farmer or human caretaker, while one little guy or girl bounced like a Mexican jumping bean, having the time of his or her life. The jumper kept knocking the same larger goat over when they used him or her as a springboard for jumps, but my God, how can you say this ball of energy is mentally ill? They're fun, filled with joy. If you had to take a goat home, you'd choose them, no question. Okay, maybe you wouldn't, because they'd be a handful, but if you had a big yard or a farm, you would. And they'd bounce and run, inspiring the other animals. They'd bound to you for pets and treats. They'd want you to play with them. You'd have to train the little guy. They'd be more work than the other goats, and as I said, require more space or resources to burn off, but also to utilize that energy. The investment would be worth it. You don't get to choose your goats if you're a goat mama or farmer to a goat who gives birth. As a farmer or even as a mama, you can sell or give away your handful, but this goat is an attraction. This goat wants to do tricks, use their vitality, boldness, and intelligence. They're going to be bright because that's how intelligence works. Intelligence is always fused with audacity. You can't disconnect them. Vice versa. If a creature is bold, they're going to be bright, whether it's situational, aka physical, inquisitive, or creative. Anyway, energy. Beautiful, fun, blood, and hormones, vitamins, life. I don't know what makes a creature spirited. Sugar, caffeine, cocaine, and meth, sure, but how do those substances become? Okay, it's fairly complicated to make adenosine triphosphate in a person. I looked it up. I'm not getting into the chemistry and biology of it here. I'm merely going to scream, energy is fucking amazing, and shake my head that anyone would call an intense person mentally ill, aka ADHD. Guide and coach that shit. Teach that creature to achieve things and control themselves while remembering that they are not you, and therefore you're going to have to allow them a higher frequency vibration. Let them make themselves and the people around them happy, vitalized, and prosperous. Accept their spirit into your life. There you go. End of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Because energy is fucking amazing. It's hard to finish projects because the curiosity and low threshold for boredom are high and the slog through the task ability low. Bouncers need or like distraction and novelty. They like to learn and discover. Nonetheless, I need to finish what I start. This book, Eyes of Different Colors, is close to done. Add some highlights about dearly departed. He's not dead. I looked him up online, but dearly departed seemed the right phrase. Departed from my life. Yes, that's why he's dearly departed. Greg, and how I dug myself out of the lethargic, alcoholic morass I let myself fall into. For what it's worth, I didn't start to make money until I was in my 50s. Didn't stop the on-welfare, off-welfare train till my mid-30s. Didn't think seriously about making money until 40. Then, in 10 years, made it all via investing, and yes, listening to people smarter than me. I hate sounding like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or one of those self-help books, but hey, if they're right, they're right. Anyway, you see that it can happen late in life and that you shouldn't give up. Bounce, 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 little goat. Never stop.